you're here because you're right.
Very good, Kelly? Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Frontage Road. We are excited to launch into this part of the city's winter preparations and to share with you all that our teams have been working on. First, I want to start with some thanks for all of our city employees across so many departments for making sure that we are prepared for this winter and building on all the work that happens each and every year and even taking it further this year. I'm standing with members of our team here at the Public Works Yard alongside some of our cabinet members. So I want to thank Chief Shumeen Benford of Emergency Management, Chief Sheila Dillon, Chief of Housing, Chief Yasha Franklin Hodge of our Streets Cabinet, Chief Reverend Mariama Whitehammond, who runs our Energy, Environment, and Open Space Cabinet, EMS Chief Jim Pooley, Chief of Community Engagement Brianna Malore, Chief of Operations Dion Irish, the Superintendent of Street Operations for Public Works Mike Brohl. Of course. Oh, sorry. And I missed. We have our Boston Police Superintendent, Lenita Cullinane. And is Commissioner Burke here? I don't see him. Okay. And we have in spirit with us, our fire department is a key partner. So I want to thank Commissioner Paul Burke as well for all that he's done to ensure that we're coordinated and ready. Behind us, you can see a pile of 11,000 tons of salt. That is among the 40,000 tons that Public Works will use to keep our streets safe in the weeks ahead. This year, Public Works has 7 new pieces of equipment, including 1 large dump truck, 4 pickup trucks with plows and salt spreaders, and 2 front-end loaders for loading salt. So we now have 170 pieces of in-house snow clearing equipment ready to go at any time of day when a weather event occurs. And we have the ability, thanks to our partners and contractors, to put more than 800 pieces on the road in the event of a large storm. To help us keep our community safe this season, we've also contracted with small businesses to clear, plow, and salt various stairs and footpaths throughout the city, particularly around municipal buildings. And I'm really grateful to be here with some of the vendors who are going to be partnering with us on that, who also represent a substantial investment in our own communities here, in businesses owned by people of color and women, and local jobs. So thank you so much to A&M Home Services. I know Mike Williams is here representing A&M based in Dorchester. Yassine Ibrahimi of Casablanca Services, and Mr. Frank Alfred and Ms. Becky Hobbs of NS Contracting based right here in Roxbury. This is all of these local businesses earned these contracts through our Sheltered Market program, which has been an effort to ensure equity in procurement and build on the work from a study over the last few years that identified just how much potential and opportunity there was to build wealth right in our communities by targeting and focusing on delivering contracts to businesses owned by people of color and women. So I'm grateful to Public Works for helping us create a pipeline of diverse local vendors that we can rely on to deliver city services to all of our neighborhoods while keeping jobs right here in Boston. We know that every year the preparations involve a lot of institutional knowledge that happens from year to year, and it could be very easy just to go on autopilot. But the fact that we are constantly striving to ensure that we are more ready, more prepared, doing it a little bit better, delivering wealth building and jobs to our neighborhoods. I'm really proud of all that we are even building on just over the last 12 months. I know you'll hear a little bit from many of our chiefs who've been involved. One other way that I'm very excited for our work, just taking it one step further this year, is to really partner proactively on parts of the city and streets and roadways that in fact are under shared or state jurisdiction, so that even ahead of time we're coordinating, and I have identified the potential trouble spots so that we're not waiting until after the storm and days later to get the reports from 311. We want to be on top of it as much as possible in managing a very large and complex operation with so many pieces. And we know that while our Public Works Department and staff on the ground and contractors are thoroughly prepared, it takes all of us working in community to get through the worst of our winter weather safely. There are responsibilities that we all share as residents, property owners, and neighbors. Property owners are required to fully clear snow, sleet, and ice from sidewalks and curb ramps near their by their property within 3 hours after snowfall ends, or 3 hours of sunrise if it snowed overnight. And as a reminder, clearing snow from private property onto the street or sidewalk is prohibited because that ends up interfering with the very important drive to ensure that our streets are clear and safe for everyone. So if you're able to, please help shovel out fire hydrants, storm drains, and ramps on your street. Lend a hand to seniors in your community and neighbors who might need a little extra help, residents with disabilities. We know that freezing temperatures can leave many of our neighbors vulnerable, and we want to ensure that everybody has what they need. So please check in on anyone who may be housebound or unhoused. For our unhoused neighbors, cold weather can be particularly dangerous, and we're working with our shelter and street outreach teams to ensure there is safe shelter space for anyone who needs it. We also have resources for our older residents who can call 311 and connect with our Age Strong Commission to learn more about everything from fuel assistance and utility discounts to home repair and transportation help. For renters, if you are experiencing challenges or problems with your heating system, please contact your landlord or property manager immediately. And you can also reach out to the city's Inspectional Services Department by calling them directly or dialing 311. We want to ensure that everybody is safe and warm indoors this winter. As the cost of heat increases this winter, we're also encouraging everyone to consider signing up for our Community Choice Electricity Program, which is not only going green, but saving money for that is much needed right now in every household. And I know Chief Whitehammond will share more about that shortly. In the event of a snow emergency, a reminder to drivers that major roads and arteries must remain clear, and just keep an eye out, because as part of the effort, we will need to ticket and tow vehicles who are parked in posted snow arteries, so we put those notifications out ahead of time. And when that happens, you will find discounted parking available at some of our partner lots and garages throughout the city. You can find that full list at boston.gov/snow. Finally, residents should have received this year's winter weather guide already in the mail, but it's also available online in 11 different languages at boston.gov/snow, where you can also find any of the emergency updates that you need. As we know, information can change pretty quickly. We also want to just make sure everybody knows about our Alert Boston system, which will send out text messages, emails, or phone calls in real time with important updates. This is also available in 11 different languages, and you can sign up at boston.gov/alerts, or by texting the word, all one word, no spaces, text Alert Boston, again, all one word, no spaces, to 888-777. And of course, you can always call 311 for non-emergency questions or service needs. Okay, otra vez en español. Detrás de nosotros se puede ver una montaña de 11,000 toneladas de sal que la Oficina de Obras Públicas va a utilizar para mantener nuestras calles seguras. Ahora tenemos nuestro propio equipo, 170 unidades para remover la nieve. En el caso de tener una tormenta fuerte, contamos con la capacidad de poner en la carretera más de 800 unidades. Para ayudarnos a mantener a nuestras comunidades seguras durante esta temporada, hemos contratado a empresas pequeñas, locales, para que limpien aren y echen sal en las escaleras y aceras municipales. Para mí es un orgullo anunciar que esos contratos se han adjudicado a Casablanca Services, A&M Home Services y NS Contracting. Estos contratos representan una inversión significativa en empresas propiedad de minorías a cargo de personas de color o de mujeres. Tanto A&M Home Services como NS Contracting obtuvieron estos contratos a través de nuestro Sheltered Market Program, un programa que busca impulsar la contratación equitativa y que se basa en las conclusiones de nuestro estudio sobre desigualdad realizado en el año 2021, en el cual se encontró que apenas de 10% de los contratos municipales eran adjudicados a empresas propiedad de personas de color o de mujeres. Hay responsabilidades que compartimos como residentes, propietarios y vecinos también. Los propietarios deben remover completamente la nieve, el aguanieve y el hielo de las aceras y las rampas de su propiedad en un plazo de 3 horas después de que termine la nevada. Si la nevada fue durante la noche, tienen un plazo de 3 horas después de que amanezca. Les recuerdo que está prohibido remover la nieve de una propiedad privada a la calle o a la acera. Las temperaturas bajo cero pueden dejar en situación vulnerable a muchos de nuestros vecinos. Así que, por favor, esté al pendiente de aquellas personas que no pueden salir de casa o sin casa. También tenemos recursos para nuestros residentes de la tercera edad. Pueden llamar a 311 y pedir que los contacten con nuestra comisión de los adultos mayores para obtener información. Para los inquilinos, si tienen problemas con su calefacción, póngase en contacto con el propietario o el administrador de la propiedad inmediatamente y después póngase en contacto con la oficina de servicios de inspección de la ciudad. Puede llamar directamente o marcando el 311 también. Tomando en cuenta el incremento de precio de la calefacción este invierno, recomendamos que todas las personas se inscriban en nuestro programa de Community Choice Electricity. Ante una emergencia por tormenta de nieve, recordamos a los conductores que las carreteras y vías principales deben permanecer despejadas. Los vehículos estacionados en áreas señalizadas como vías de emergencia por tormenta de nieve serán multados y remolcados. En la ciudad puede encontrar descuentos en algunos estacionamientos y garajes con los que estamos asociados. Puede consultar la lista completa en boston.gov/snow. Para concluir, los residentes ya deberían haber recibido la guía de inclemencias invernales de este año, la cual está disponible también en 11 idiomas diferentes en boston.gov/snow. Sugerimos registrarse al sistema Alert Boston para recibir actualizaciones sobre emergencias por tormenta de nieve vía mensajes de texto, correo electrónico o llamadas telefónicas. Alert Boston está disponible también en 11 idiomas y puede registrarse en boston.gov/alerts o enviando como mensaje de texto la palabra Alert Boston sin espacios al 888-777. Y siempre puede llamar a 311 si necesita algún servicio o si tiene preguntas, siempre y cuando no sea una emergencia. Okay, gracias a todos. Following me will be Chief of Streets Yasha Franklin Hodge, Chief of Community Engagement Brianna Malore, Chief of Housing Sheila Dillon, Reverend Mariama, Chief of Environment, Energy and Open Space, Reverend Mariama White Hammond, and then we'll open up to questions, and any of our other staff may jump in at that point. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. So thank you, Mayor Wu, and good afternoon, everyone. Lost a card. I'm Yasha Franklin Hodge, and I have the honor of serving as Mayor Wu's Chief of Streets. So we're standing here in the heart of the city's snow operations at 400 Frontage Road. It's from here that all the plowing and salting are coordinated and managed, with the salt pile behind us, the largest of 9 that we have in our district yards across the city. I'd like to start by thanking the Superintendent of Street Operations, Mike Burl, and our Highway Division and the dedicated staff for all their hard work in ensuring that our streets are clear and safe during the winter. For many folks in public works, winter is the hardest time of year with long hours and unpredictable schedules. And city staff respond to dozens of snow events a year, from major storms to even minor snow squalls that nonetheless require some kind of response or treatment out on the street. And so while snow is a routine occurrence, we are grateful for the sacrifices that these city employees make to allow the rest of us to go about our business regardless of the weather. As Mayor Wu mentioned, we currently have 170 pieces of in-house snow clearing equipment with the ability to put over 800 pieces on the road during larger storms. I'd like to thank our Central Fleet Maintenance Team and our Director Bill Coughlin. They're responsible for getting our trucks and equipment in good working order for the winter season, making on-the-fly repairs during the middle of snowstorms and throughout the year. The Central Fleet Team has been working since September to prepare our vehicles for winter, fixing plow blades and installing salt spreaders into various types of vehicles and equipment. For this winter, we have worked with our Public Facilities Department to install an upgraded and modernized vehicle fueling station right here at Frontage Road, and this helps make sure that we can keep our vehicles working even during extended storms. If you were here last year, this looks a lot nicer than it used to. We rely primarily on city staff for equipment for smaller storms, but we do have an army of contractors available for major snow events. And over the past 2 months, we've been meeting with our contractors, reviewing procedures, and making sure that they are ready to step up when they are called. This year, as the mayor mentioned, we are also working to improve coordination with our sister agencies who share snow clearing responsibilities within city limits in Boston. In November, we convened an interagency meeting with Mass DOT, DCR, and the MBTA to review snow clearing responsibilities within city limits and to solidify response plans in places where there are overlapping jurisdictions, especially where there's been confusion or challenges in years past. Whether you walk, take the bus, bike, or drive, we want winter travel to be safe and convenient for you. In addition to our intensive street clearing efforts, we also work to keep the city safe for people using our sidewalks or riding a bike. Last year, we piloted a program of clearing crosswalks, curb ramps, and squares in the city. After the main phase of the storm, we deployed small pieces of equipment to clean up certain pedestrian spaces in some of our busiest areas, including neighborhood business districts, areas around transit, and school bus stops. This pilot was operationally successful, and we received a tremendous amount of positive feedback from the community. And we're really excited that this year it will become a formal part of our snow clearing operation in our post-storm phase. We will have additional pieces of small equipment available to us to allow us to do this expanded operation, and we think that this will be a great help to make sure that people can continue to move about on foot, in wheelchairs, and have safe places to cross our streets. We also have appropriately sized equipment to clear our growing network of protected bike lanes. Many people bike year-round in Boston, and keeping our bike lanes clear is part of our mission to ensure that our whole transportation system works no matter the weather. We know that making it through the winter is a team effort, both inside the city but also in partnership with the community. So we're asking residents and business owners to do their part. Please make sure that you're adhering to the rules for snow shoveling, as the mayor mentioned, after a storm cleanup adjacent to your property. When you are cleaning your property, your sidewalks and the curb ramps that are adjacent to it, try to be a good neighbor and help out by clearing catch basins, fire hydrants that may be nearby. And if you're able to, please help out a neighbor who may need a hand. Residents and property owners must clear a 42-inch path on sidewalks. This helps keep sidewalks safe and usable for all, especially for people using wheelchairs, mobility devices, or pushing a stroller. When you do not clear your sidewalk, you force people to travel in the street or navigate icy and uneven surfaces. This puts lives at risk, and it makes it harder for all our neighbors to stay mobile and safe during the winter. When you are clearing your property, please do not throw snow back into the street. As the mayor mentioned, this makes it incredibly difficult for our teams that are working to keep the street clear. All curbside trash and recycling should be placed at a clear space on the curb so that our contractors can safely access your bins, barrels, and bags. Barrels and recycling carts should not be placed behind snowbanks or they may not be collected. During any inclement weather event, we ask residents to be patient. When it snows, we treat and plow every street in every neighborhood in Boston, but we prioritize our work to keep our main routes clear for emergency vehicles and buses. Give us time to do our work, but please contact 311 if you see streets that need attention after a storm. As the mayor said, for an entire list of winter resources, please go to boston.gov/snow, and remember to follow City of Boston and Public Works Department social media channels for all your winter weather updates. And lastly, I want to remind everyone to be safe on the road. If you are driving, slow down. Winter weather can make safe driving harder, and people on foot or in a wheelchair may sometimes need to travel in the street when it is snowing. If you are biking, make sure you have bright lights and go slow in the snow. And with early sunsets, we have more people walking after dark. We urge everyone to be cautious, especially people operating motor vehicles. So while it always feels like winter comes a little bit too soon, the City of Boston is prepared and ready for winter and whatever Mother Nature throws at us this season. Please look out for your neighbors, and thank you for doing your part this winter. And with that, I'll hand it over to our Chief of Community Engagement, Brianna Millard.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Brianna Millard, Chief of Community Engagement, and I have the pleasure of serving Boston's residents alongside my team at the city's Community Engagement Cabinet. Our department collaborates with city and community partners by working together. We link policymaking, city services, and community engagement efforts across the city. I would like to thank all of you all for being here, especially for the hardworking city staff we have at Public Works. Thank you, Mayor Wu and Chief Franklin Hodge. Thank you for sharing crucial information to ensure Boston residents are prepared for the winter months ahead. I want to speak directly to Boston residents to prepare and provide clarity and guidance on how the city is committed to keeping you safe and connecting you with necessary resources and helping you navigate this winter. First, I want to uplift our city's neighborhood liaisons. The neighborhood liaisons are assigned to each community from East Boston to Mattapan to the South End. Every single neighborhood has a neighborhood liaison. The neighborhood liaison's role is to bring City Hall and city services into your vibrant neighborhood. As we prepare for winter, our neighborhood liaisons are ready and willing to connect residents to fuel assistance services, shelter for unhoused community members, and to help you find heating and cooling heating centers in your neighborhood. Liaisons are also multilingual and are prepared to help you in your native language, whether that is Vietnamese, Spanish, Chinese, Haitian, and Cape Verdean Creole, and many more languages that represent the beautiful city of Boston. If you do not know who your assigned neighborhood liaison is, I really encourage you to visit boston.gov/departments/neighborhood-services. The Community Engagement Cabinet is also home to the 3-in-1 team, and we all love 3-in-1. The 3-in-1 team is who prepares a lot of the resources that you guys call about, and they respond to all and any non-emergency related questions or concerns, especially as we're preparing for the winter. And what do you might think is a non-emergency matter? It is things like call 311 to report a broken traffic signal, or if a lamp is out due to snow or harsh winds, or calling to see if call 311 if you need to report an unshoveled sidewalk, although we want to underscore that sidewalks that are owned by property owners and business owners should be cleared by them, so please do your due diligence and responsibility as a property owner. Snow plowing and salting requests may take some time because our Public Works Department is hard at work clearing the main arterial roads and then side streets to keep drivers safe. The 301 Constituent Service Center is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, in all universal languages. The city is requesting that residents wait 3 hours after snowfall before you call 311, or 3 hours after sunrise if the snow continues into the night. As you can imagine, our lines often get tied up by the increased number of calls from our residents. If you have trouble getting in contact with one of our live team members, we encourage you to download the Boss 311 app on your smartphone. Residents can submit requests in 11 different languages on the 301 app. You can upload any concerning photos of fire hydrants covered in snow, unshoveled handicap ramps, or sewer drains in your neighborhood directly on the 301 app. If you are able to assist in clearing hydrants and sewer drains, we would really appreciate that. And to all of our neighborhood residents who use space savers, remember, you can only use a space saver when the city declares a snow emergency. Residents have 48 hours to use a space saver after a snow emergency has ended, or the city will remove them. After that, you must remove it from the street. And a friendly reminder that space savers are not allowed in the South End and in Bay Village. Now, some exciting news. The Cabinet of Community Engagement's Office of Civic Organizing is thrilled to have launched their Civic Power Pledge. This is a call to action to encourage residents and business owners to embrace their civic power and engage with your local government. We want to build a sense of community, address shared concerns, and improve the quality of life for all Bostonians. The winter is a great time to lend a helping hand to our most vulnerable community members. We encourage residents to take a pledge to shovel a neighbor's sidewalk, or if you see an unhoused, vulnerable individual, please help them out. Keep your elderly neighbors in mind and persons with disabilities in mind when you are shoveling snow. Help them out. Be the change you want to see in your community. You can sign the Civic Power Pledge by visiting boston.gov/departments/civic-organizing. Lastly, Boston residents can find physical copies of the Winter Preparedness Guide at your local libraries, schools, or BCOF centers throughout the city, but there's also a digital option as well. Alert Boston will also send notifications to residents' phone. You can also access all snow emergency information on boston.gov and follow 311 on all social platforms for live updates. Thank you so much for your time. And next up, we have the Chief of Housing, Sheila Dillon.
Thank you. Thank you. And hopefully I'll be brief. I know how cold it is. But like you've heard, we've been preparing for winter with both all of our city departments, our state, and our nonprofit partners to put a plan in place to make sure that our homeless are safe this winter. I just want to call out a few of these very important organizations: Boston Public Health Commission, Pine Street, Boston Rescue Mission, Bay Cove, New England Center for Homeless Vets, Bridge Over Troubled Waters, and Elliott Community Health. We have over 1,300 beds of emergency shelter that are available to us this winter. That the occupancy of those beds ebbs and flows, but we really want to make sure that we have enough beds for all of our homeless women, men, and young adults. On cold and stormy nights, our shelters get full, but we really want the public to know that no one will ever be turned away. We will always find a warm place for our homeless residents. To prepare for the winter, we've added 57 emergency shelter beds earlier in the fall, an additional 85 beds in warming spaces last month. So once again, no one will be turned away because of space needs. The Commonwealth has secured 300 additional beds for our homeless individuals outside of Boston. And this is really important, and I want to thank them for this work because it takes pressure off of Boston shelters, and it also keeps individuals closer to their communities. I also want to state that We've been working very closely with Pine Street to increase their capacity. Pine Street, a very trusted organization and partner, especially on nights and days of bad weather, go throughout the city looking for people that may need services, that may need help, that may need to be brought in from the cold. They will be out during these days and nights, making sure that people come in and are safe. And Pine Street works very, very closely with our Boston Police and our Boston EMS, and I want to thank these organizations for really looking out for our most vulnerable. So once again, we really do need your eyes and ears. If you see any individual, anyone who looks vulnerable and they're on the street, we really want you not to hesitate. We want you to call 911, because Pine Street and all of the staff that are out there on bad weather, they don't get to every place at all times. So we really need your help. 911 if you see anyone who looks like they are in any kind of distress. That is the way we're going to keep people safe. Another vulnerable population in very cold and stormy weather are our elderly residents. Any senior, and the mayor mentioned this, but I want to just repeat it, any senior who has any problem with their home, emergency repair, heat, leaks, drafty windows, emergency and things that are making them uncomfortable, we really want them to call 311. We have staff and contractors on call 24/7 to make sure that their emergencies are taken care of when they call. So I really, please call 311. Use that line. We're at the ready, and we really, really want to respond to every emergency situation for any vulnerable populations this winter. Thank you. And now I'm going to turn this over to our Chief of the Environment, Reverend Mariama White-Hammond. Thank you.
Good afternoon. As we prepare for winter weather, it's also important to note that electricity prices will be increasing significantly in January due to increases in fuel and fossil fuel costs. At this time, Eversource is estimating basic service rates will be increasing by more than 40%. And that is why we are encouraging all residents to take advantage of Boston's Community Choice Electricity Program, also known as BCCE. The city's program is greener and, importantly, more affordable than basic service rates and significantly more affordable than third-party suppliers. There are 3 options available. There's our optional basic, our standard, and our optional green, which costs 10 cents, 11 cents, and 14 cents. And you can have 100% green energy for less than what you would be paying on the standard Eversource rate. So I hope that all of our residents, first and foremost, will join us in saving money and saving the planet by opting into these plans. And I want to make a particular plea to our residents who can afford to pay for 14 cents a kilowatt hour to consider doing so. Your support helps us to grow the supply of green and affordable energy available to all. These prices will stay throughout 2023, and so you can make this choice and know that you'll be protected not just for the winter, but for the summer and fall months to come. It can take up to 2 billing cycles to make this happen, so we encourage you to do this as soon as possible. And you can sign up by going to our website, boston.gov/BCCE. I also want to take a moment to note a very concerning trend that we have seen in the increase of competitive electric suppliers. In most instances, these folks are going door to door and targeting our immigrant communities, our seniors, and our low-income communities specifically, offering what ends up being shameful rates that end up costing as much as $226 more per month to people who can least afford it. I want to make a petition to everyone to take a moment to look at your electric bill and to see who your supplier is. I want to make a particular call to young people that may have it just a little bit easier going online and doing some of the search to reach out to the older folks in your life, to reach out to those folks who may not speak English as their first language that you know and are relationship with, and help people to navigate this. Again, the website is boston.gov/BCCE, and we are honored to work with 311, so you can also call 311 if you're concerned, if you just have to answer a question, and they will give you the information that you need. Finally, I want to just make a particular note. The city of Boston will not send people to your doors to talk to you about electricity. So if somebody claims they're calling on our behalf and they've knocked on your door, that is not us. And you should go ahead and give us directly a call at 311. We can share the correct information with you. We know that in this time, people are often making the choice between food and fuel, between paying their electric bill and paying their rent. And so we are honored to be able to offer this as an important resource to all of our residents. And we hope that you will take this time to sign up. Thank you.
Okay. Ears are numb, noses are running. Does the media have any questions, or are we good?
We have a bit of a storm coming in on Friday. How much of a winter storm are you expecting for Boston on Friday?
I'm going to pass it over to Superintendent Brohl.
Thank you, Mayor. So we are seeing something coming in on Friday. As of right now, we're being told the bulk of that snow is coming in the northern Worcester County, which is luckily not near here. We are going to have some crews on to take a look. We do see a colder trend at the end of the storm on Saturday, where that could flip to snow and some ice. We'll be staffed accordingly, but we'll be. That's a prime example of it's a rainstorm right now, but we are looking at it to making sure it's a rainstorm. If that does change, if that track moves, we'll be ready. We'll be staffed accordingly.
Superintendent, do you have any difficulty with labor shortages with plow contractors dropping off grid?
So we are, as a municipality, we are having a tougher time finding full-time employees here. With the work of the mayor and some other team members, we've been trying to find ways to kind of incentivize, find different ways to draw folks in. We are having those conversations daily. Through our snow contractors, we're being told that they're able to man all their trucks. There's the one or two that have had some issues, but across that 800 truck number, it has been nothing that has kind of caused us any concerns. We've had those conversations though, because we've had those issues. We've had those one-on-one conversations across all those contractors. As of right now, we feel comfortable.
Have you had to increase pay?
As of right now, no. Our snow contract is a 3-year contract that we're in the middle of. This is the second year. So as of right now, no, we have not.
So first, just a note on the staffing question as well. I'll take the opportunity, the superintendent, the chief, everyone, we are working so hard to ensure that the great jobs that the city has, opportunities to serve your community and that are so necessary, based right here in our city, it benefits everyone when these jobs are held by Boston residents. Not only is the commute to get here shorter, to get from where the plow is parked to our city, but the jobs that plugs back into our neighborhoods. And so we are hiring. We are hiring on so many fronts, particularly in this case for residents who might already have a CDL license to be able to navigate some of the larger equipment and vehicles here. But as we've seen on the bus driver side, it's really important that the city go above and beyond. We now have a dedicated CDL training program to recruit for bus drivers where residents can be paid even while getting that license and going through that training. And so my goal is to continue working with the team to try to establish that for many other pathways too, not just for school bus drivers. But the need is certainly there. And so we encourage everyone, we need your help, and to step in and work for the city and serve your community would be a benefit to so many. Okay, sorry. And on the small businesses, this is really thrilling to be able to, again, on something that the city is sometimes so used to doing. We do snow removal very, very well. And this year to be able to go above and beyond and ensure that those jobs are connected locally in the contracts that we were able to connect to our sheltered market program, which directly targets for businesses owned by designated MWBEs, minority and women business enterprises. it keeps jobs locally and serves our community in so many ways. I don't know if any of our small business owners want to come up and say a word. Just introduce yourself and say a little bit about who you are and what you'll be doing.
Hello, my name is Michael Williams. I am part owner of A&M Home Services. So essentially, we will be taking upon some of the snow contract. We're going to be doing stairs and pathways, and yeah, I mean.
Hello everyone, my name is Yassine Ibrahimi, owner of Casablanca Services. We are grateful that we're going to be partnering up with the city this year. We got awarded the contract to do foot stairs in Charlestown area and Alston area. Again, we appreciate the fact that the city has reached out and we are partnering up with them. Thank you so much.
Hi, Frank Alford from NS Contracting. We got awarded stairs and pathway, and grateful to the mayor to have an opportunity that we really would not have if she hadn't gave us that opportunity. Thank you.
So, for example, Mr. Alfred's business, 20 years based in Roxbury, and we want to not only, of course, get the great work done. Each of these businesses won these contracts through a competitive bidding process, and we're so excited for the quality of work that they bring to the job. But to be able to see these companies grow and then bid on larger and larger contracts, which will help us fill some of the shortages that we see in other areas as well.
Well, the overall snow budget is, of course, a bit of a moving target in Boston. You never really know how much you're going to get. It looks like the city's budgeting about 6% more than last year. That's not as much as inflation is doing. So overall, is the snow budget down from last year in terms of real dollars, or will service be down?
The short answer is no. Snow is snow. We are charged to keep roadways safe, to keep the public safe. It is a 5-year rolling average, which is why you see that number move. So it's basically 5 years of snow actuals done over a 5-year time. That gets us our number. But I don't believe Mayor Wu is going to tell us to stop working because we've reached that limit. You know, hopefully we don't see a winter that sees us overproduce and overperform and have to be in too much. I'll say this, you know, this has been a long press conference. It's been longer for folks and the men and women from Public Works who answered the phone at 1:30 this morning. We had snow swells coming down from New Hampshire. We are constantly in snow mode and constantly in ice mode. We do it with a fiscal concern. It was only city folks in last night to make sure that we were okay. But that 5-year rolling average is how it's always done.
Based on how much snow you've got over the past 5 years?
Based on how much we've spent over the past 5 winters, yep.
And I just want to really emphasize my thanks to the team. They are there no matter what hour of night, no matter what the street conditions are. They put the safety of our residents first, and they get the job done. And so I've had the chance just to see a little bit of the incredible coordination that goes into that. And it is through many departments, but particularly the folks who are out on the roads clearing that snow. We're so grateful, and we'll make sure they have the resources they need to do that job every single time.
So back in 2018, the winter of 2018, we had two really strong nor'easters that caused record storm surges. What medium to long-term plans do you have as a mayor to protect those vulnerable areas?
Yeah, so I'll bring up our climate chief. All I will add is we've been very lucky in some ways. There were major storms that happened to hit at certain tide levels that ended up showing us a glimpse of how bad things could get, right? Infrastructure like MBTA elevators out for a year, certain areas of the city impassable. There have been many near misses that Boston has had where the wind angle and speed push something a little bit further south of us, and so that is part of our seasonal preparedness every year going forward. Has to be how we handle that storm surge and the water coming in, but also how we handle heat in the summer. So we really have it on both ends. But I'll pass it on to our chief.
Yeah, so since the spring, we've convened an extreme weather task force to look at heat, to look at extreme cold and storm surges. Really thankful to co-chair that with our Chief Binford from Emergency Management and Dr. Ojakutu from the Boston Public Health Commission. So that's where we're looking really from a human-based angle. How are we doing? What do we need to be doing differently? Otherwise, we also been working with our senior advisor on infrastructure, Osgood, who's been bringing folks together, particularly look at deployables and how we get some coordination on deployables across the city, both the ones that the city has, but really also a lot of the private companies that also have deployables. And then finally, we are not announcing now, but very soon, sort of a much expanded work on resilience, and particularly not just responding after we know the storm is coming, but how do we close some of those flood paths. So, and that's been coordination with many other partners, Massport, the state, private industry, to look at how we can do that in a more coordinated way. So we are preparing for right now, and my team, along with others, stays up all night to sort of keep tracking those surges. But I think we are also really trying to be proactive. We don't want to be left unready when the big one hits.
Thank you, everyone.